I lost my cool and told her, I don't owe anybody anything, and then hung up. I'll admit I didn't handle it in the best manner and could have been a lot calmer, but I really don't want someone living with me. I live by myself in a 2-bedroom apartment in Forest Hills, and I already pay a lot for rent and have a very tight budget for food. Even if his parents offered to pay for his expenses, like food and transportation, I still wouldn't want him living with me. Shortly after my blow-up with my aunt, a few of my family members began blowing up my phone, saying that I'm being selfish and jealous of my cousin's success. My uncle texted me, saying that I'm ruining his son's life and ranted about how self-absorbed I am. Yet, none of them have even offered me anything in return for housing him. To be frank, I don't care what he or anyone else in my family says about the situation. There's a reason I try to avoid them at family functions. My mother said that I was being unfair and that I'll open my apartment door for one-night stands but not for her own family. I told her she can have a say in who I let into my apartment when she starts paying my rent. Right now, I'm contemplating blocking my mom. Part of me feels like a jerk, but the other part of me feels like it's my apartment, so I shouldn't be bullied into anything I don't want to do. I'm not mad at my cousin because he's a kid, but I'm really mad at everyone in my family who is taking his parents and my mom's side of the story. My dad has been very supportive of my decision and is reprimanding my mom and her family about the whole situation. Edit. I forgot to add that I contacted my cousin last week to tell him that it's not personal and that he's more than welcome to visit if he decides to dorm. He hasn't replied to my text, and I didn't think he would because we're not really that close. Update 1. Last night, I called my cousin, and he picked up. We talked about the whole situation. He said that he didn't like how I talked to his mom that day, which is why he avoided my text. I apologized to him for cursing at his mom. He then asked me not to get mad at what he was about to tell me. He said he's not even sure if he wants to go to NYU. I immediately felt like screaming into a pillow. He didn't want to tell his parents because he knows how much they want him to go to NYU, but he actually wants to go to the University of Toronto. I didn't say anything for a bit because, at that moment, I was just over this whole thing. I told him I wouldn't care when he decides to tell them because I'm going to have low contact with my family members for a while. He must have told his mom because, you know what happened today? My mom and aunt showed up at my workplace. They didn't get past the lobby, but they were loud, demanding that I talk to them. I came down to see if I could get them to leave. My aunt accused me of manipulating my cousin so he wouldn't go to NYU. It was honestly the most embarrassing 10 minutes of my life. Thankfully, the guard ushered them out of the lobby, but my manager called me to her office, and she wasn't happy with the whole situation. She asked if this would happen again, and I told her what I honestly thought, I hope not. I created a group chat with my mom, aunt, and everyone else who sided with them, and I texted, it's one thing to go after my moral character, but I can never forgive you for embarrassing me in front of my coworkers and at my workplace. You're never allowed to come near my apartment, or I will call the cops on you. Then I blocked them all. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk to my landlord about switching out the locks and getting a new key. I want to thank everyone for their comments and advice. I really do appreciate all the support. Good night, and I hope nobody has to go through this.